Welcome to Vulnerable Relationships.
Male 32 cheating fiancé, female 31. Let me start from the beginning here. Yesterday, I met my fiancé at our wedding venue for our 4-month-out meeting to finalize details. We drove to the venue separately because she was leaving straight from work. Toward the end of the meeting, she let me know that her friend was dropping off her rental car and needed a ride home and asked if it would be okay. I said yes, thinking nothing of it as it wasn't that far from our home and I know her friend well. I get home and try to get in touch with her for the next 3 hours. No answer. At approximately the 90-minute mark, I texted her friend and asked if she had made it to her okay. I was very worried. My fiancé ends up coming home and says sorry it took longer than expected. She hung out with her friend for a bit before leaving. Okay, no biggie. Just let me know next time, please. Her friend gets back to me a few minutes later and says sorry I couldn't make it to the venue and didn't see your fiancé tonight. I asked fiancé why she would say this and she said she didn't know, she can't control what her friend says and walked outside. I'm sketched out at this point. I have never done this but I looked at her phone records. Yes, I did and don't regret it. I saw that when she went outside, she called her friend that had texted me right after she went outside. I also saw an hour-long call with a number I didn't know on the way to the venue. I asked her what rental place they went to and multiple other questions. She had quick answers and they seemed legit. I thought maybe I'm crazy here. I need to chill and sleep on it. This morning I asked her to please see the text from her friend asking her to pick her up and I would apologize for questioning her the previous night. She said no. I said when I caught up to you yesterday on the way to the venue, I saw you were on the phone. Who was that? She said oh, that's the friend I picked up later on. That's when I knew for a fact she was lying. I said I looked at her phone records and knew that wasn't true. She then changed her story to say oh, I needed to meet up with a coworker to discuss a patient. Who is the coworker and why couldn't you discuss that over the phone? I need to show him the techniques in person. His name is Michael. Okay, I'm sketched out beyond belief at this point. We never lie to each other. I asked to see the text with Michael. She said she wouldn't let me see. I said why not if there's nothing to hide? Are you having an affair? Do you not want to be together anymore? She pauses and proceeds to tell me all the things that are wrong with me. I work too much. I don't spend enough time with her. Don't listen. I'm astonished at this point. All this is news to me. I put 2 and 2 together at this point. I know something sketchy is going on. I again asked to see the text. It took about half an hour of convincing to see these texts and they were crazy. Sexual in nature and talking a lot of crap about me. Also, how she wanted to be with him and how they're essentially in love. She started this job 1.5 months ago. He is her coworker. He is also 15 to 20 years older and divorced with multiple kids. I have been financially supporting her for the last few months as she got back on her feet and was working extra. So she wouldn't have to pick up a part-time job. We own a house which we both live in and 3 dogs and a horse. Sorry for the novel. I'm beside myself right now. I did not see this coming and we were going to get married in 4 months. Any advice would help. Update 1. I was finally able to sit down with her tonight and go over this again. She came in trying to blame me for what she did, trying to justify the cheating and lying as a direct result of my lack of communication and listening. She said she wouldn't have had to start talking to this guy if I had been listening better. I spent too much time in the office working and don't dedicate enough time to her. I tried to explain that I was putting in extra hours to try and support her and the family financially while she was struggling, so she wouldn't have to get a part-time job. She said she would have rather gotten a part-time job, which makes no sense to me. She was under the impression that because this was short-lived, only 1 week she says, and they only made out once, that we could move past this. When I brought up the texts where she was trashing me and talking sexually with him, she deflected hard, and I got nowhere with that. I told her that I'm not the reason that this is happening. She went too far and should have communicated with me or thought about the implications first. That I can never trust her again, and this is all because of her actions. Whether she wants to try and justify this as my fault is up to her. At the end of this part, it got a bit calmer. I said listen, we just really need to figure out the house we own jointly and the 3 dogs. We came to the conclusion that either I stay and buy her out or we sell and get new places. As for the dogs, one of us will get one, the other 2 to be determined. So that's where this left off tonight, and we'll continue to keep you all posted on progress. Curious what you all would do about the house financially. I can support it alone, but it is nearly 3,000 square feet and 5 acres of land, which was bought solely to have her horse. She is taking the horse when she leaves and boarding it in a barn. Update 2. Day 3. I was able to sit down and have a 3-hour conversation with her tonight. We talked about our relationship and what led to what occurred. It started with her telling me what I did wrong in our relationship: lack of communication, spending too much time working, and always being on my phone. I don't disagree with any of these things. My mindset behind working so much was to support our family. I run an e-commerce business on the side and I'm a one-man customer service center, and deals happen 24 hours a day. I'm never not on the clock. I could have certainly been better about setting my phone aside and responding to people the next day. The lack of communication was on both ends, and a prime example of this is the fact that I was unaware she was unhappy with any of this. It was never communicated to me. She said she felt I would have gotten upset if she told me, but never gave me the chance to work on it. I'm not a perfect person by any means, and many times I do or say things that are misinterpreted by her as rude. An example of this is a week or two ago when I was trying to help her with a budget to get her finances on track. To note, I work in the financial industry and do this for clients all the time. So I mentioned that she owed me maybe $1,000 and she would get that back to me next paycheck. I said something like, "I think it's a little bit more than that. Let's go through the transfers I have made to our joint account." It ended up being over $5,000. My purpose for doing this was not to make her feel bad, but to realize how much I've been contributing. She took this as me trying to humiliate her when I was just trying to help, and maybe my timing was off. She told me I had been too focused on money lately, but I was only trying to make sure we were going to be okay. We still had quite a bit to pay for the wedding, and my budgeting mentality was on overload, trying to make sure we had enough. The fact that she keeps trying to justify what she did by attributing this as a direct correlation to my flaws really bothers me. She keeps telling me that she is surprised I would throw away 7 years of a relationship like this. I keep having to remind her that I didn't throw it away, she did with her actions. She told me that I had told too many people too quickly, and we could have resolved all of this between us. She also said that she wouldn't have had to talk with someone else if I was a better listener or communicator. I have finally determined the extent of the affair, which I actually believe based on the texts that I read. They began talking 1 or 2 weeks before via text. I don't know if they had met up before outside of work, but this time around, he had asked her to the park to play basketball and talk. She met up with him and ended up making out. I truly believe it didn't go further than this yet, but it would have in the near future. I'm sure she says he is not her boyfriend. She also took off tonight, and I have no idea where she is, assuming with him or a girlfriend. It is an awkward living situation, but I'm hoping this resolves in the near term. I do think she wants me to get back with her and try to repair this. I think that the main issue was a lack of communication that manifested for a long time. We got into a routine, lived our boring simple life, and meanwhile, this problem was never discussed and grew over time. She acted out instead of talking to me and also lied to my face and talked a lot of crap about me behind my back. She can be very sneaky, and I don't think I can fully trust her again. Obviously, ending things would be the easiest thing to do, but I don't think I would ever truly be happy. Understanding the root cause has helped me feel better. If nothing else, it will allow me to address my personality flaws and communication issues and see things from another perspective. I started hitting the gym today and will keep a routine going. I also plan on picking back up and studying for my CFP designation. I took the week off of work to focus on my mental health. Today I called the wedding venue and officially cancelled the date. We were able to get some money back but lost a bit unless the date can be resold to another couple, which is unlikely. I also spoke with her parents again to keep them apprised. They live far away, and I am sure they are worried sick. I continue to let them know everything is fine and calm, and they don't need to worry about their daughter. I did some research, and with interest rates where they are today, I will not be able to find a comparable house for the mortgage I pay for this. I can barely find an apartment for less nowadays. I think my best option is to try and buy out her share and have her find an apartment. She seems agreeable at this time. We will have an appraiser out to assess the value and see what half of the equity would be and if that is doable for me. My questions to you all are, does this change your mind at all about the situation? Am I handling this properly? If not, what should I be doing differently? Update 3. It's been nearly a month since this whole situation went down, and I owe you all an update. It's been a very busy, emotional, and eventful month, so I'm not going to lie. The few days after this happened to me, I was a pathetic mess, groveling to get back with this cheating person. It's embarrassing to admit, but it happened, and it was all part of the process of moving on. While in this vulnerable state, I tried everything I could to do things right to make things better, but nothing worked. I was actually told that she had to make a decision, me or him, and she did the right thing choosing him. I think that's when I woke up and realized I had let my self-worth go down the drain, and I needed to take a step back and really focus on me and what was best for me. It is hard after 7 years of doing everything for someone else to focus on your own needs, but that's exactly what I've been doing since. I moved our joint savings accounts to my individual checking account. I did the math of what was owed to me and transferred half of the balance back to the joint account for her to take. I have been working out every day since this happened. It makes me feel good not only to improve how I look but also helps me continue to think clearly. I've gone suit shopping, for a massage, out with friends and family. Not only was this relationship isolating me from my friends and family, which should have been a huge red flag, but I never did anything for myself. My enclosure is just not something I would do. I was always worried about providing for my significant other and animals. I've been seeing a therapist for the first time in my life on a weekly basis. It helps me talk things out in my decision-making. It is something I will probably continue to do after the situation resolves, just to continue to improve myself. Now for the bigger items. I'm still living in the house with my ex. She is sleeping in the guest bedroom, and we are at a point where the only communication is, "Did you feed the dogs?" I think she is a terrible person, and no matter what I say, in her mind, this is my fault. To accuse someone of being a bad communicator and then use that as an excuse to then not communicate her feelings to me, she is being a hypocrite and unreasonable. I stopped bothering trying to reason with her because she is unreasonable. I have been keeping the ball rolling with listing our house for sale. I contacted an agent, had them come, and was happy with the proposed sale price. She then requested that I contact 2 other agents and get their opinions, one of which was recommended by her friend. Yes, I made all the calls, set up all the appointments, and met with these people. This is how the relationship always was, and even though it's not fair, I have been willing to do it all to get the hell out of here. After meeting with all 3, we ended up going with the first agent. Pictures were taken on Sunday, and the house was listed for sale Sunday night. An open house is scheduled for next Saturday, and we're already getting a lot of attention on the real estate sites. She will be taking the horse to a barn somewhere, yet to be determined. I had a conversation about the dogs and offered to take one or none. She said she would take all 3 of them to keep them together. They were a happy bunch, and I don't want to fight over taking one if that will break them up. It also selfishly allows me to pursue a clean start. Unexpectedly, I met someone about a week ago that I've been spending quite a bit of time with. I have no false expectations here, but I'm enjoying hanging out with her. She's been through a similar situation in the past and has been helping me through this. It's really eye-opening speaking with a kind, thoughtful, and independent woman. It makes me realize what a narcissist my ex was, completely self-centered, dependent, and manipulative. I should have listened to the warnings from family and friends long ago. I definitely fell into the trap of being in a simple routine. I wasn't enjoying life. It was just an easy situation to be in. Nice house, lots of land, great animals, didn't want to rock the boat, so I just continued on. You don't really realize this until you take a step back and truly reflect. Some might say it was wasted time, but I am really using this as a learning experience. I will not ignore red flags in the future. I will not fall into a simplicity trap. I will continue to maintain relationships with my friends and family. I just want to end this with a huge shout out to everyone on here that commented on my original post. I posted on Reddit because I had no idea what to do. Those of you that took the time to try and help a complete stranger on Reddit are amazing. I read every single comment, and they all helped me get to where I am now. I'm looking forward to the next chapter in my life, wherever it takes me. Thank you all, truly.
Comments.
Comment 1. So relieved the fiancé picked the affair partner. This poor guy might have stayed trapped in that relationship forever if she hadn't. Comment 2. Please sir, can I have some more? I'm just thankful he found out before the wedding. Ex and affair partners deserve one another. She'll probably be back later whining about what she's lost.
Thanks for watching the video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing. See you in the next video.